The mountain night was colder than usual. Snow covered the trees, the rocks, and the small wooden cabin that stood alone near the edge of the forest. The wind howled through the dark valley, and every sound seemed louder in the silence of the night. Inside the cabin, the man sat by the fire. He was used to quiet nights like this. The crackle of burning wood was the only company he needed. But tonight felt different. The air felt heavy, as if the mountain itself was holding its breath. Then he heard it, a sound, not the usual cry of a wild animal or the breaking of frozen branches. It was louder, sharper, like something tearing through the sky. The man stood, his heart beating faster. He stepped to the window and looked out into the snowy darkness. Nothing, just shadows and the endless white of the mountainside. He almost sat down again when the second sound came. This one was closer. A crash, a thud. The ground seemed to shake for a moment. The sound did not belong to this world. The man grabbed his coat and opened the cabin door. The cold rushed inside like a living thing, biting at his skin. He stepped into the night. The forest was silent now, too silent. Even the wind seemed to stop. Then he saw it. Not far from his door, lying half buried in the snow, was a shape. At first, he thought it was a body. Maybe a lost hiker or a hunter caught by the storm. But as he walked closer, the truth struck him like a hammer. It was not human. The figure on the ground was a woman. But not like any woman he had ever seen. Her skin glowed faintly, silver and pale, almost like moonlight trapped under her skin. Strange lines shimmered across her arms, as if they were made of light instead of veins. Her clothes, or what looked like clothes, were torn, but they were not fabric. They looked like pieces of shining metal, broken and smoking. The man froze. Fear pushed against his chest. Every part of him screamed to run back inside and lock the door. But he couldn't move. His eyes were locked on her. Then she moved. Her head lifted slowly. Snow slid from her hair, which shone like strands of dark silver. Her eyes opened, and they were not human eyes. They glowed faintly blue, like cold fire. For a moment, their eyes met. The man felt something impossible, as if her gaze had entered his thoughts. He felt her fear, her pain, and something else he could not name. She tried to speak. Her lips trembled. A sound came, broken, weak. One single word escaped. Warmth? The man's breath caught. She collapsed again into the snow. For a long moment, he stood frozen, his mind racing. Was she real? Was this a dream? Or had something fallen from the sky into his world? The wind picked up again, throwing snow into his face. He looked back at the cabin, then down at the strange woman at his feet. His instincts told him to run, to leave her, to pretend nothing had happened, but something stronger held him. She was dying. He could see it. Her glowing skin flickered like a light about to go out. Her body shook weakly. She needed help. She needed warmth. Slowly, carefully, he bent down. The snow was cold against his knees. He reached out, hesitating as his hand hovered above her arm. Her skin did not look safe to touch. It glowed faintly, as if it burned with hidden energy. But when his hand finally touched her, it was cold. So cold, it hurt. She shivered under his grip, whispering again, her voice almost lost to the wind. Warmth. The man swallowed hard. He slipped his arms under her body and lifted her. She was light. Much lighter than she looked, as if her bones were hollow. Her broken clothes rattled faintly. Pieces of metal falling into the snow. He carried her toward the cabin, his boots sinking deep into the snow. Every step felt heavy. His mind screamed questions. Who was she? What was she? Why had she fallen here, outside his door, in the middle of nowhere? The cabin door closed behind him, shutting out the storm. The firelight spread across the room, warm and orange. He laid her gently on the rug near the fire. For a moment, he stood over her, staring. Her chest rose and fell, slow, weak. The silver glow across her skin pulsed faintly with each breath. The man knelt beside her, unsure what to do. He pulled a blanket from the bed and wrapped it around her shaking body. Her eyes opened again, faint blue light staring into him. Her lips moved. This time, he heard it clearly. Need. Warmth. Then her hand reached out. Her fingers touched his wrist. The shock was instant. His skin burned cold and hot at the same time. A strange pulse traveled through his body, as if she was pulling something from him. He jerked back, gasping. The fire crackled louder. The shadows danced, and in that small cabin on that freezing night, he realized one thing. This was not the beginning of a dream. This was the beginning of something else. Something dangerous. Something he could not escape. The alien woman lay there, eyes glowing faintly, waiting, and outside. In the endless night, the mountains seemed to listen. The cabin was quiet, but not peaceful. The fire burned, sending soft orange light across the wooden walls, yet the man felt no comfort. On the rug, wrapped in his blanket, lay the alien woman. Her silver skin shimmered faintly, her chest rising in slow, shallow breaths. The man paced the room. He looked at her, then at the door, then at the fire. His thoughts spun like a storm. What have I done? What have I brought inside? He had carried her out of the snow to save her life. But now, standing in the warmth of his small cabin, he wondered if he had saved himself or doomed himself. Her hand twitched. The blanket slipped a little, and her glowing skin caught the firelight. The strange silver lines across her arms pulsed faintly, like veins of light. She looked fragile, weak, almost human, but he knew she was not. The man stepped closer. "Can you hear me?" he asked softly, his voice unsure. Her eyes opened. Two cold blue lights stared back at him, not human eyes. They glowed faint, but steady. Her lips moved. Warmth. She whispered again, the same words she had spoken outside. The man's chest tightened. He crouched beside her. "You're safe here," he said, though he wasn't sure if it was true. "The fire will help." Kay shifted toward the flames, then back to him. Slowly, painfully, she shook her head. "Not fire." The man frowned. "Not fire." "What do you mean?" Her hand lifted, trembling, and touched her chest. He saw it then under her torn clothes, just below her collarbone, a faint glow. A small circle of light, flickering weakly, like a dying ember. She spoke again, her voice fragile, broken. Heart core, fading. "Need warmth." The man stared. A heart core? What did that mean? He looked at the glowing circle. It pulsed faintly, slowing each time. He felt a shiver run through him. If that light went out, would she die? Before he could ask, her body shook violently. Her eyes squeezed shut. Strange energy sparked across her skin, small flashes of blue-white light, like lightning under her skin. The man stepped back in shock. The blanket slipped off, and for a moment, her whole body glowed bright. The cabin filled with an eerie light, shadows stretching and twisting. Then it faded, leaving her gasping on the rug. The man swallowed hard. "You're not from here, are you?" His voice was barely a whisper. Her eyes opened again, weak but steady. "Skyfall," she said. "Ship. Broken. Alone." The words sent a chill through him. She had fallen from the sky. From a ship. She wasn't just a stranger. She was from somewhere else. The man's heart raced. Questions burned in his mind. Where had she come from? Why here? Was anyone else out there? But one question screamed louder than all the rest. Was she dangerous? The fire cracked. The storm outside howled against the walls. The man felt the cabin shrink around him. He looked at the door. If she was dangerous, he could throw her out now, end it before it was too late. But then he looked at her again. She was shaking, weak, struggling just to breathe. Her glowing hand reached toward him, trembling. Her voice was almost gone now, but the word was clear. Please. Warmth? The man hesitated. Slowly, he reached out. Her fingers brushed his wrist. The shock hit him again, cold and burning at once like fire made of ice. His skin prickled, and for a moment he felt as if something inside him was being pulled away. He pulled back quickly, gasping. She shivered, her glow flickering again, weaker than before. The man's chest pounded. He stared at his hand, then at her. She needed warmth, but not the fire, not the blanket. She needed something from him. He sat back, breathing hard. His thoughts battled each other. If he gave her what she wanted, what would happen? Would she live? Or would she take too much and leave him empty? The storm outside roared, shaking the windows. The mountains groaned like an old beast. The man felt trapped between two dangers: the cold night outside and the strange woman inside. But then he saw her face. Her blue eyes dimmed, her lips pale. She looked at him, and for the first time he saw fear in her eyes. Not the fear of a monster, but the fear of someone who did not want to die. The man clenched his fists. Slowly, carefully, he moved closer again. "I'll help you," he whispered, though his voice trembled. "But if you hurt me—" He did not finish the sentence. Her glowing hand rose again. He took it in his own. The shock came back cold, hot, burning, freezing. But this time he did not let go. Her eyes widened. The glow in her chest flickered brighter, steady for a moment. She gasped, her breath deeper now. The silver lines on her skin pulsed stronger. The man felt his body weaken, his skin tingling. But he held on. Her grip tightened, and for the first time he heard her voice more clearly. Human. Warmth. Strong. The man's vision blurred for a moment, then cleared. He pulled his hand back at last, gasping. She was still glowing, but stronger now. The man froze. The cabin door rattled as the storm pressed against it, but that was not what chilled him. It was the sound outside: slow, heavy steps crunching in the snow. Not the wild shuffle of an animal. Not the sharp crack of falling ice. This was deliberate, careful. Someone or something was moving near the cabin. The alien woman's eyes opened. The faint blue light in them flickered, but they were alert now. She whispered in a voice that carried more fear than weakness. "They follow." The man's breath caught. He leaned closer. "Who follows? Who is out there?" Her lips trembled as she forced the words out. "Hunters, my kind. But not like me. They come." The fire popped, sending sparks into the air. The man's eyes darted to the door again. Hunters, not human, not animals. Her kind. He felt his stomach twist. "You're saying more of you are out there?" Her head moved in a slow, pained nod. "Not friends. Not saviors. They destroy." The man's heart hammered in his chest. His cabin was small. His weapons were few. A hunting rifle. An axe by the door. Nothing more. Against men, maybe enough. Against them. He wasn't so sure. The alien woman shifted weakly under the blanket. Her voice grew more urgent, though it cracked with exhaustion. "Listen. You must choose. Help me, or leave me. But if they find me, they kill you too." The man felt anger rise, sharp and hot. Why me? Why here? Why my cabin? Her glowing eyes closed for a moment, then opened again. Not by choice. I fell. My ship. Broken. I ran. This mountain. My last hope. Her words fell heavy in the small cabin. The man looked at the door again. The sound outside had stopped. The silence pressed down harder than the storm. Finally, he spoke. What do they want? Her answer was simple. Me. The man swallowed hard. His cabin suddenly felt like a trap. If he kept her here, the hunters would come for both of them. If he pushed her outside, maybe they would leave him alone. But deep down, he already knew. The moment he pulled her out of the snow, the moment he let her inside. His fate had changed. The woman's hand shook as she reached for him again. Help me, she whispered. Heartcore weak. But if I rise, I fight. With you. The man's mind spun. Could he trust her? What if she turned against him once strong? What if her fight burned down his whole world? Before he could answer, the cabin window shivered. A shadow passed across it, tall, too tall for any man. The man grabbed his rifle. His hands trembled, but his eyes were sharp. He aimed at the window, waiting for the shadow to return. The alien woman struggled to sit up. Her voice shook with urgency. No bullets, out steel. They not stop. Then what does? The man hissed. Her eyes locked on his. Me. But only if you give. More warmth. The man's heart pounded. He remembered the shock when she touched him before, cold and hot at once, as if she drank from his soul. He remembered the weakness in his arms after. Could he survive giving her more? Another sound outside. A metallic scrape. Like claws dragging against wood. He didn't have time to decide. The alien woman reached for him, her hand glowing faintly. Now, she whispered. Or we die. The man's breath shook in his chest. He looked at her hand, then at the rifle. Firelight flickered across the cabin walls, shadows dancing like warning spirits. Finally, he lowered the gun. Slowly, with dread in his bones, he placed his hand in hers. The shock hit him instantly. His breath caught as energy surged through his veins. His skin burned cold, then hot, then both at once. His heart thundered like it wanted to escape his chest. Her body glowed brighter. The silver lines across her skin pulsed like rivers of light. The circle at her chest, the heart core blazed stronger. Her weak body straightened. Her breathing deepened. The man gasped, trying to pull away, but her grip tightened. More, she whispered, her voice steady now. Just a little more. The shadows outside shifted again. A low sound, almost like growling metal, pressed against the cabin walls. The man gritted his teeth. His vision blurred. His strength drained. But then, she released him. He fell back, gasping for air. His whole body shook. His skin felt colder than the snow outside, but she was standing now. Weak still, but taller, steadier. The glow from her body filled the cabin, washing the shadows with pale light. Her eyes blazed blue fire. She looked at him, her voice stronger than before. You are first. Human who gave. This is contact. The man blinked, still gasping. First contact. She nodded slowly. Yes. First, but not last. The sound outside grew louder. A heavy knock shook the cabin door. The man lifted his rifle again, his hands trembling. The alien woman stood beside him, her glowing skin humming faintly. Her eyes locked on the door. Now, she said, her voice calm, powerful. We fight. The knock on the cabin door was not human. It was too heavy, too slow, too deliberate. Each strike shook the wood, sending small bursts of dust from the walls. The man's grip tightened on his rifle. His breath misted in the cold air that seeped through the cracks. The alien woman stood beside him, glowing faintly, her blue eyes sharp and alert now. They are here, she whispered. The hunters. The man's stomach twisted. He had faced wolves in the forest, even bears once, but this felt worse. This was not nature. This was something made to hunt. The door creaked as another sound came. Not a knock this time. A scrape. Long, sharp, metallic. Something dragged claws or weapons across the wood. The man raised the rifle to his shoulder. His voice cracked with fear and anger. If they try to come through, I'll shoot. The alien woman turned her head toward him, her silver hair catching the firelight. Bullets break skin. But hunters are more. They do not bleed as you bleed. The man swallowed hard. Then what stops them? Her voice was soft, but heavy with truth. Me, the cabin walls groaned as the hunters circled. Footsteps in the snow, crunching, shifting, heavy. More than one. 3, maybe 4. They moved in a slow rhythm, like predators testing their prey. The man's heart pounded. He thought of running, but where? The storm outside would blind him. The hunters would follow. The cabin was his only shield, even if it was thin. The alien woman stepped closer to the door. Her glow pulsed brighter, as if her very body was preparing for something. She spoke without looking back. When door breaks, they enter fast. Do not freeze. Choose. The man's hands shook on the rifle. He whispered harshly. Choose what? Her voice was like stone. Fight with me, or die with me. The fire crackled, the only sound between them. The man's throat was dry. He had never wanted this. He had never asked for this. Yet here he was, caught between the storm and monsters from the stars. The hunters outside moved closer. Shadows passed by the window, tall, thin shapes. Their steps were heavy, but their movements, too smooth. Not like men trudging through snow. More like blades sliding across glass then, for the first time. He heard their voices, not words, sounds, a clicking mechanical rhythm mixed with low growls. The sound was wrong, part machine, part animal, part nightmare. The alien woman's eyes narrowed. They smell me. They know I am inside. The man felt sweat on his forehead, despite the cold. His voice broke. What do they want from you? Her answer was sharp. My core, my light. They hunt their own to grow stronger. If they take me, they will take you too. The cabin window rattled. A long crack spread across the glass. A shadow leaned close. The man saw it for the first time, an outline of a face. Long, sharp, not human. Its eyes glowed faint red, scanning, searching. The man jerked back. His finger tightened on the trigger. But the alien woman raised her glowing hand. Not yet. The red eyes outside blinked once. Then the shadow moved away. Silence. The man's chest heaved. His finger itched on the trigger. Are they gone? He whispered. The alien woman shook her head. No. They test us. They wait. Hunters always wait. The man felt his strength draining. He wanted to believe this would end. That he would wake up, that the snowstorm was just a storm. But the truth pressed heavy on him. This was real. The alien woman moved closer to him now. Her glow was brighter than before, steadier. She looked at him with calm, cold eyes. They will not stop. They will not leave. If you want to live, you must give again. The man stiffened. No. His voice was sharp, desperate. The last time. You nearly drained me. I felt empty. Her head tilted, silver hair brushing her cheek. Not empty. Shared, your warmth gave me strength. Without more, I am nothing. Without me, you are nothing. The man's chest pounded. He wanted to scream at her, to push her out the door and let the hunters take her. But then he remembered her eyes when she was weak. The fear, the fragility. She was not only alien, she was alive. Another strike hit the door. Harder. The wood cracked. The fire shook. The alien woman stepped closer to him. Decide, she whispered. Give or die. The man's body trembled. He stared at her glowing hand, then at the door. Shadows loomed outside. The hunters were seconds away. Finally, he closed his eyes. His hand reached out, her fingers locked with his. The shock was stronger this time. His breath tore from his lungs. His knees buckled. His heart felt like it was splitting. Her glow exploded, silver fire burning across her skin. The cabin filled with light, erasing every shadow. Her eyes blazed blue fire, brighter than the storm. The man collapsed to his knees, gasping, his body drained. But when he looked up, she was no longer weak. She stood tall, radiant. Her silver patterns burning like rivers of lightning. The cabin door cracked again. The hunters were coming through. The alien woman turned toward it, her voice no longer weak. It was sharp, steady, and filled with power. Now, they will see me. The cabin door shook again. A long crack split across the wood, and cold wind hissed through. Snow drifted in like ghostly smoke. The man's rifle was tight in his grip, but his hands trembled. The alien woman stood beside him, glowing brighter than fire, her blue eyes blazing like stars. The hunters were outside, pressing closer with every strike. The man's heart raced. He could hear them, their claws scraping, their low mechanical growls vibrating through the night. The sound didn't belong to Earth. It belonged to something made to hunt, to kill, to conquer. And now they wanted her. The alien woman spoke without turning her head, her voice calm but heavy. They will break through soon. You cannot stop them. Your rifle will fail. Your axe will fail. Only I can fight. Her glow pulsed across the cabin walls. Shadows melted in her light. The man felt the heat and the cold of her energy at once, like standing too close to a fire in a snowstorm. But he remembered what she had taken from him before. His warmth, his strength, his very breath. He remembered falling to his knees, his body weak and drained. If he gave again. Could he survive it? His voice cracked. If I give you more? What happens to me? She finally turned to face him. Her eyes softened, though her glow remained sharp and strong. Maybe you weaken. Maybe you fall. But you live if I live. If I die, you die too. The hunters will not leave you. You are mine now, chosen. The words cut through him like knives. Chosen. He had not chosen this. He had only opened his door to help a stranger in the snow. Now he was tangled in something far larger than himself. The door groaned again. A claw stabbed through, curling and scraping. Red light leaked through the crack. The man stepped back, his chest heaving. Fear battled rage inside him. Why should I trust you? You're not human. I don't know what you want from me. Her gaze locked on him. Her voice dropped low, soft but steady. I want to live. I want freedom. Hunters take everything. They took my world, my people. They will take you too, unless we fight together. The man's throat tightened. Her words sounded true, but truth could still be dangerous. Another crash. The door splintered. Snow burst into the cabin. The man raised his rifle. Maybe I can fight them myself. The alien woman stepped closer, her glow brushing against him like firelight. No, you cannot. They are stronger, faster, made for death. Only my core can burn them. But without you, my core fades. Her hand lifted slowly, glowing fingers reaching toward his chest. One choice. Give me more warmth. Give me your strength. Then we fight." The man stared at her hand. His heart thundered in his chest. If he gave again, he might collapse. He might not survive. But if he refused, the hunters would tear them both apart. The door cracked wider. A red eye peered through the broken wood, glowing like a furnace. A voice hissed from outside low. Mechanical, chilling, found. "You?" The man's blood ran cold. He knew the hunters would not stop. His eyes flicked between the rifle in his hands and the glowing hand reaching for him. The fire burned low behind them, shadows twitching on the walls. For a moment, the world shrank into silence. The storm outside gone, the hunters waiting. The cabin holding its breath. Finally, the man dropped the rifle. His chest heaved. He stepped closer to her. "If I do this, if I give you everything, you promise me one thing." Her head tilted slightly. "What?" His voice shook with anger and fear. "Promise me I won't disappear. Promise me I stay me." Her glowing hand touched his cheek now, soft, almost human. "You stay." But changed. Not less, more. The man's eyes burned with doubt, but there was no time left. The door split again, wood cracking wide. The hunters pushed closer, claws and glowing red eyes pressing into the gap. He closed his eyes. His hand rose. Slowly, he took her hand in his. The shock exploded through him. His body convulsed, his lungs gasped. His skin burned ice and fire all at once. He felt his warmth leaving him, pouring into her like rivers of light. His knees buckled, but he refused to let go. Her glow flared, brighter than ever. The heart core in her chest blazed like a star. Her voice rang out, stronger, fierce. "Yes, this is enough." She released him. He collapsed to the floor, weak, gasping for air. But when he looked up, he saw her fully alive, powerful, transformed. The silver lines across her skin burned like lightning. Her hair shimmered like molten metal. Her eyes glowed twin fires of blue, unblinking and sharp. She was no longer fragile. She was a weapon. The cabin door shattered. Wood exploded inward. Snow rushed through, and the hunters stepped into the light, tall, sharp. Their bodies were black steel and twisted flesh. Their faces long and inhuman. Their red eyes burning. The man, weak on the floor, could only stare. The alien woman stood in front of him, her body blazing like a living star. She raised her glowing hand, her voice echoing with power. Now, the hunters fall. The storm outside roared. The cabin filled with red eyes, and the choice he made burned brighter than fire. The cabin door exploded inward. Wood splinters flew across the room. The wind howled in, and the fire almost died under the force of the storm. The man lay weak on the floor, clutching his chest, his breath sharp and shallow. His rifle was lost somewhere in the chaos. His body trembled from what he had given the warmth, the strength. He could barely move, but the alien woman stood tall, glowing like a silver flame in the storm. Her heart core blazed, spilling light into every corner of the cabin. The hunters entered. They were tall, thin, twisted. Their black armor looked part machine, part flesh, as if something had melted them together. Their eyes glowed red, cold, and cruel. Claws scraped against the cabin floor as they stepped inside, filling the small room with their shadow. The man felt his stomach twist. He had never seen such things. They looked like nightmares wearing broken steel. The alien woman raised her hand. The silver lines across her skin pulsed bright, like lightning ready to strike. Her voice rang out, strong, not like before. "You will not take me. You will not take him." The hunters answered with a sound that rattled the walls, metallic clicking mixed with growls. Then they charged. The first hunter leaped, claws reaching. Her body blazed with light. She moved faster than the man could see, a blur of silver and blue fire. Her hand struck forward. A wave of energy blasted from her palm, smashing the hunter into the wall. The wood cracked under the force. The man shielded his face from the burst of light. When he looked again, the hunter was twitching. Smoke rising from the red hole glowing in its chest. But there were more. 2 hunters came next, claws swinging, eyes burning. The cabin shook as they slammed against her. She met them with both arms glowing, crossing them before her chest. Sparks exploded, light clashed against claws. The air filled with burning heat and freezing cold at once. The man crawled back against the wall, his body weak, but his eyes wide. He wanted to help, but his strength was gone. He could only watch. The alien woman pushed forward, her voice echoing like thunder. Fall. A burst of silver light shot outward. The hunters were thrown back through the door, crashing into the snow outside. Their bodies smoked and twitched, but they rose again, slower this time. Their red eyes dimming but still alive. The storm outside swallowed their shapes, but their growls carried back deep and hungry. The woman turned to the man. Her face glowed, but her voice trembled just slightly. I cannot hold them alone for long. The man coughed, his chest burning. Then what do we do? Her eyes locked on his. You gave me your warmth once. That bond stays. If you stand, if you hold on, we fight together. He wanted to scream at her, to tell her he had nothing left to give. But then he saw the hunter's red eyes glowing through the snow, closer again, moving fast. He thought of what would happen if she fell. He thought of himself, alone, weak, against those monsters. He pushed himself to his knees. His body ached, his vision spun. But he grabbed the axe from the wall, his hands trembling. Then I fight. The alien woman's blue eyes burned brighter. She gave the faintest smile, fierce and proud. Then we fight. The hunters rushed the cabin again. This time, the man swung first. His axe cut through the storm, slamming into the arm of the nearest hunter. Sparks flew where metal and flesh met. The creature shrieked, stumbling, its claw half severed, but it turned on him instantly, its red eyes burning with hate. Before it could strike, the alien woman's hand burst with light. She grabbed the hunter by the chest, energy flooding through her palm. The creature screamed as its body glowed red, then shattered into ash and smoke. The man fell back, gasping. His arms ached, but the fire in his chest burned stronger. For the first time, he felt not only fear, but rage. Rage against the things that had come into his world. Rage against what they wanted to take. The storm raged around them. Snow whirled into the cabin. The fire was gone. Only the glow of her body lit the night. 2 hunters circled them now, moving faster, sharper, their claws gleaming. The man gritted his teeth. What now? The alien woman's eyes narrowed. Now? Together, she reached for his hand again. He hesitated, fear rushing back. But then he took it. The shock tore through him again, fire and ice raging in his veins. But this time he did not fall. This time he pushed forward. His axe glowed faint silver in his hands, light spreading from her touch into him. The hunters leaped. The man swung. His axe met the claw of one hunter and the silver glow exploded. The creature shrieked as the blade tore through, splitting its chest. It fell into the snow, smoke spilling from the storm howled like a living beast. Snow fell heavier, swallowing the mountain in white silence. But within that silence burned the red glow of many eyes. The man stood at the cabin door, his axe heavy in his trembling hands. His body ached, weak and drained, yet his spirit burned stronger than ever. He could see them shadows moving through the storm. Dozens, maybe more. The true hunters had come. Beside him stood the alien woman, her body glowing brighter than fire, her silver skin alive with rivers of light. Her heart core blazed, strong and fierce now. Yet her face was calm, her eyes steady blue flames. "They are too many," the man whispered. His voice shook with fear, but also with something deeper acceptance. She looked at him, her voice soft but unyielding. Yes, alone, they win. Together, maybe not. The red eyes drew closer, circling. The hunters moved with sharp grace, claws scraping, their mechanical growls cutting through the storm. They were not afraid of death. They were made for death. The man swallowed hard. "So what do we do?" Her hand lifted slowly, glowing fingers reaching toward him once more. One last bond. Full bond, not half, not broken. If we join, truly join, my power becomes ours. We burn the hunters. We burn the night. The man's chest tightened. He remembered the shock, the weakness, the way his warmth drained into her. He had given once, then twice. He wasn't sure he had anything left. His voice cracked. "And if I give you this last time, what happens to me?" Her eyes softened, almost human now. "You may not stay. Your warmth may become mine forever. You may vanish. But your choice will live in me, in the stars." The man felt his throat close. He had lived his life alone, hidden in these mountains, far from the world. He had never been chosen for anything. But now, in this frozen night, he had been chosen for the fight, for her. For something far greater. The hunters growled louder, closing in. Red eyes burned all around. Time was gone. The man dropped the axe. His knees trembled, but he lifted his hand. His voice was steady now. "Then take it. Take all of me." The alien woman's face softened into something that almost looked like sorrow. She took his hand in both of hers. The glow spread instantly, flooding the cabin, pouring into the storm outside. The man gasped. His heart pounded, his body shook. It felt like fire and ice ripping through his veins, but this time he did not pull away. He gave everything, every breath, every beat, every spark of warmth inside him. Her glow erupted. Her body blazed like a star, silver fire burning across her skin. The cabin walls split, the roof shattered, snow blasted outward in waves of light. The hunters screamed, their red eyes dimming, their black bodies cracking under the power. The man fell to his knees, but she held him, lifting him with light. Her voice echoed, not just in the air, but inside his chest, not alone. Never alone. The storm turned white. The hunters charged. Dozens of them leaped through the snow, claws raised, red eyes blazing. But they met a wall of light. The woman raised her arms, and the bond between them unleashed a storm of silver fire. The mountain shook. Trees split. Snow vaporized. Hunters burned, their screams lost in the roar of energy. One by one, their red eyes blinked out, swallowed by the light. The man's vision blurred. His body was empty, weightless, fading. He felt himself slipping, but he felt no fear. Only warmth. Her warmth, the last hunter, fell into ash. Silence filled the mountain. The storm eased. The woman lowered her arms. Her glow dimmed, soft now, gentle. She looked down at the man in her arms. His eyes fluttered open, weak, almost gone. "You saved me," she whispered. "You saved both of us." His lips trembled into a faint smile. His voice was a broken whisper. "Guess I wasn't useless. After all." Her blue eyes shimmered with something like tears. She leaned close, her silver hair brushing his cheek. "No, human. You were more." The man's breath slowed. His hand slipped from hers. His eyes closed. For a moment, the mountain was silent. Only the soft glow of her heart core remained. She looked at him one last time. Her lips trembled with words too heavy for sound. Then, gently, she placed his hand over her chest, over the blazing heart core. The light pulsed once, then spread into him. The man's body shimmered faintly. Not alive. Not gone. Changed. The woman stood, her face calm but sorrowful. She lifted his glowing form into her arms. Outside, the storm had passed. The stars were clear, endless above the mountain. She looked upward, her voice steady. You wanted warmth. Now. You are warmth. Forever. Silver light rose from her body, carrying them both into the night sky. The cabin was gone. The hunters were gone. The storm was gone. Only stars remained, and somewhere among them, a bond burned, human and alien, no longer apart. The mountain would never see him again, but the stars would always remember.